Look at doing cable crossovers while you're seated. So here's how we do it. Again, I've got it set, we're grabbing the high one. Now if you have a unit, cable crossover unit that has different levels you can set it at, do so. You can have it at a moderate level or mid-range where your arms are straight out. Mine are higher, mine are set either fixed very high or very low, so that's what I've got, that's what I'm going to use. So I've got it here like this, and instead of standing and doing my cable crossovers, I'm seated and doing them. The reason I do them seated is because I'm making my upper body work harder, really. And it really is just isolating the muscles directly that I'll be using, like in a judo match or sambo match. So here we go like this, just like this. And you notice when I do them seated, I like to lean my body into it. I really get the full feel in my entire pec region. Way up high here, and way down low here. And I hold, crunch. And some guys will hold for a count of 1 or 2. 1 1,000. 2 1,000. 3 1,000. 4 1,000. 5 1,000. You get the idea, go up to 10. Okay? So you can hold them very high like that. You're probably doing less weight seated than you would standing. Okay? So just understand that, know that. Again, it isn't the amount of weight you use, it's how well you use it. And that's what we want a functional strength here. We're training for a fighter's physique, not so much a bodybuilder's physique. So we want to think about using the right weight for the right exercise, the right movement. Okay, another exercise while you're seated for the cable crossovers from a high position is again in front like this. It's a shorter movement, but it really does place a lot of emphasis on the outside and rear portion of your deltoid, your shoulder muscle, and a lot of back exercise, a lot of upper back work here. So you can see it like this. Notice how I'm high now. This is better if you have a cable crossover unit that you could move it down to mid-range. Here you were doing them here like this, so it's even better. Okay, like this. So or even down. So mine aren't. Mine are fixed either top or low, so I use them for what I have. And that's another good way of doing cable crossovers. So again, when you're doing them seated, you're isolating your upper body, making those muscles do all the work. Sometimes you'll tend to jerk or cheat a little bit when you're using them standing. If you want to really isolate your body parts, do it seated. Let's take a look at using the cable crossovers when you're seated with some cable crossover curls. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm seated on my bench, got it located directly between in the middle of my cable crossover machine here, and I'm going to grab one end, grab the other end, and just hold. Now I'm holding in this case, I'm holding my hands, palms directly forward, okay, and I'm going to be curling this way. And notice the movement here. I'm just curling. These are great curls. You can do a lot of variations of these, which I'll show momentarily here, some of them. But you see, here's the basic way of doing it, okay? All right, now, if I want to do some Zottman curls, which are named after a fellow named Zottman who invented probably back in the 30s or 40s, it really I'm just rotating my hand palm down and cutting like this. And that works a little more forearm work. In fact, a lot more forearms. And great exercise as well. Now you notice also, in doing these seated cable crossover exercises, I'm not using a lot of weight. I'm using a moderate amount of weight where I can do 10 good repetitions. Again, the higher number of the repetitions, the more we're going to get into more muscular endurance. It's a good way to put it in a general sense. The higher the weight, the lower number of repetitions. Moderate weight that we use for what we need it for. Again, we want functional strength. So we're not just looking for a quick explosive movement like a weightlifter or a power lifter to get the weight up one time. We have to lift move our own body weight and move somebody else and control somebody else's body weight during the period of say a judo match or a sambo match, and then actually throw him. So that's what we got to aim for. So if you do about 8 to 10, 12 repetitions per set, That's ideal, especially for something like this, cable crossover type work, where you're using moderate weight. And use moderate weight, don't use super heavy weight. Again, you want to use weight you can do very good strict repetitions. Take a look at the basic way of having your palm forward when you start these curls like this. That's the basic way. Okay, great way to do it. I do that a lot, by the way. I'm sure a lot of guys do too. Or you can do Zottman curls with your palms down, okay, and curl up like this. A very controlled movement. Okay, another way is simply just having your palms up. Start with your palms up and curl sideways. Like this movement. And see, I'm not directly to the side. I'm a little more at an angle to the front in a more natural movement. Like that. And again, see, you can see that you can do one-sided if you want, okay? So they would go like that. Now, when you're doing these, palm up, be very careful to use light to moderate weight, because if you have shoulder injuries, you will feel them badly. So if you're using it, you try to jerk it much in the way of this, doing this muscle work, or this work here with the cable crossovers and these curls, you will feel it in your rotator cuff and certainly the whole shoulder joint in general. So be very careful in using, when you're curling up like this, use moderate to light weight. Probably even lighter weight than when you do this, okay? Because you're placing a lot of strain on your shoulder to do this movement. And if you had shoulder injuries, you will immediately feel that all the way down. And again, if you've had rotator cuff surgery, injuries, you don't want another one. They're serious and they put you out a long time. So you can develop an injury like this if you jerk them, okay? So be very careful in how you do these.